It doesn't mean a recession, but it does indicate that trouble may be coming. And the stock lost over 6.5%. This spooked investors yesterday. And you think about it, Walmart is considered a bellwether for the American consumer. And 90% of Americans live within 10 miles of a Walmart. They focus on low prices. They sell need-to-have items. They are the nation's largest grocer. If Walmart says, quote, "we are in an uncertain time," that is a potential red flag.
It was reported by the New York Post that Walmart is cutting corporate jobs and shutting down multiple offices in a major restructuring effort. The company says that they are offering affected employees relocation support in its main hubs in Bentonville, Arkansas, Sunnyvale, and California.
So it begins. Walmart has just laid off 1,500 people. 1,500 employees gone. And the prices have gone up between 40 and 60%.
Imagine showing up to work like a normal day, clocking in, doing your shift, planning your next paycheck, and then suddenly you don't work here anymore. No warning, no preparation, no second chances. That's what people are reacting to right now. Before I break this down, I need you to watch some of this clip because what's happening here is hitting people really so hard. Go watch those clips right now, then come back and we need to talk about it.
Walmart is shutting down 150 stores across the United States of America. Listen to this report and tell me if this is not a systemic issue of a much larger problem.
Walked into a Walmart, not for anything special, just a few cans of formula, a discounted pack of meat, maybe a roll of toilet paper. But now in many small towns, Walmart isn't the place you can just drop by anytime anymore. In just a matter of weeks, 40 Walmart stores have shut down. No warning, no signs, no news headlines. You show up, and the parking lot is empty. They call it restructuring. But when over 100,000 jobs vanish, not just in stores, but in warehouses, logistics centers, and factories, this stops being just Walmart's problem. A store gone is a heartbeat lost. A community forced to change its rhythm. And the real question isn't why did it close? It's how many more will soon become just memories. Trump didn't issue a command. He didn't force anyone's hand. He simply said one thing: eat the tariffs. And that was enough.
This is a simple sign that times are going to get tough. And the administration firing the one who collects the statistical data for jobs in America, you fire them simply because they told the truth. You want them to report lies so the broader community don't know that what they are implementing is actually destroying the nation. Is ridiculous, is crazy, and just plain it's just wrong, outright wrong. And we the people are the ones who are going to pay the price, because the rich are going to be fine, and this is going to be pushed down to the bottom with higher prices, and Walmart attributes this to the tariffs.
You have to see this video of a Trump supporter walking around Walmart celebrating the fact that it's practically empty because low-income families can't afford food.
See something crazy? And we in prime time. It's like 7:30 Thursday night. Where is all the foolishness?
And of course, they had to bring race into this, saying all we had to do to shop in peace without black people ruining everything was cut their EBT. That's disgusting. Notice how there's no economic argument there, no policy decision, no concerns about budgets or fraud or anything else. They're saying the goal wasn't to save tax dollars, but rather ensure that certain people can't shop. Imagine being so cruel that you're celebrating the fact stores are empty because families can't afford groceries. That's not a win. That's not order. That's not peace. That is hunger. Kids are having to go without food right now, and parents are skipping meals just so they can feed their kids. But MAGA has the audacity to celebrate all of that as if it's some sort of win. They want billionaires to get tax cuts while working families go hungry. What is wrong with them? They make fun of people in poverty. They mock hunger. They treat suffering as if it's entertainment. Of course, as long as they can convince themselves that the people who are hurting deserve it. Maybe I'm a radical socialist, but I would much rather my tax dollars be spent on feeding hungry kids than buying a billionaire another yacht.
So it begins. Walmart has just laid off 1,500 people. 1,500 employees gone. And the prices have gone up between 40 and 60%. Oh, well, I don't know. I guess we'll be in for the ride. I'll talk to y'all later today.
I think this is the example of people getting the point and still missing it. This commenter says, you do realize Walmart destroyed plenty of local business that these low income depended on before Walmart existed. Yes. Yes. You get it. Walmart destroyed the businesses that existed before Walmart came into these towns. Meaning Walmart is the only way that people are getting income and medicine and food and clothing and jobs. So if Walmart goes away, where do they get all of that if they don't have anything else? There are no mom and pop locations. It's not as easy to open up a business overnight just to replace a Walmart. So those people will go without, which is why I said, consider what happens to those people if Walmart goes away and there's nothing to replace the jobs, the food, the clothing, the medicine. What happens in the interim when that goes away? And that's what people are not considering when they're talking about boycotting. Again, I'm not saying you should not boycott. I am saying if you're going to boycott, what is the infrastructure in place to take care of those who will be impacted the most? You got it. You're still missing it.
You guys, Donald Trump just admitted that his tariffs are causing Walmart to raise their prices exponentially for American families, and he demanded that Walmart eats the tariffs, and he threatened them. This is unbelievable. Take a look at what Trump posted today. He says Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. But do not let Donald Trump insult your intelligence by gaslighting you into thinking that he's not responsible for Walmart raising their prices. He's exactly the reason. His inflationary trade war is exactly the reason why corporations like Walmart are going to raise their prices. And no matter what Trump does at this point, prices are going to remain high because these companies are already expecting the consumer to adapt and to basically expect that prices are going to be up moving forward. And what has Donald Trump really gained from this trade war anyway? Nothing's gotten cheaper. When does the winning start? That's what I want to know.
So Trump supporters, if you're not worried now about the economy, now is the time to be worried. Nebraska, Tyson Foods. They're the largest meat producer in the country. They're closing their Nebraska beef processing plant because of Trump economics. Cattle costs have risen $2 billion because of Trump's tariffs, and it has resulted in a net loss of $425 million in 2025 to date for Tyson Foods. So they're closing their meat packing plant, and 3,200 employees in this small town with only 11,000 residents are losing their jobs. 3,200 employees, and I can guarantee a vast majority voted for this. And it doesn't end there. Tyson is taking their 3-shift slaughter operation in Texas down to 1 shift. So a lot more people at their Texas facility are going to be let go. When you talk about big industries now being affected, not the small guy, but those at the top of the food chain being impacted and closing down, we are in a world of economic hurt. And this is just the beginning because this Trump administration is not focused on fixing the problem. They keep creating more. And I got to tell you, just this Tyson food location in Nevada, there are so many suppliers, so many vendors, contractors every single day that did work for this Tyson
It was reported by the New York Post that Walmart is cutting corporate jobs and shutting down multiple offices in a major restructuring effort. The company says that they are offering affected employees relocation support in its main hubs in Bentonville, Arkansas, Sunnyvale, and California. Now, who is being affected by this move? Hundreds of white-collar jobs are being eliminated or relocated, with workers forced to move or leave the company. But the question is, why now? Walmart claims that this move will improve efficiency and collaboration, but a lot of people are seeing this as a cost-cutting measure disguised as a corporate restructuring. So the big question is, should companies still be forcing relocations in a world of remote work? Or is this an outdated strategy that could potentially hurt employee retention? Leave your comments down below.
Due to Donald Trump's tariffs, 1,500 people has been laid off from Walmart. People have rent to pay. People have bills to pay. The last check, they better make the most of it. And let me say this, it's going to be hard to get a job. A lot of y'all, usually you getting email notifications, calls, text messages from job alerts in your Gmail. You don't get those no more. If you do, it's very rare. And if you're getting them, everybody's getting them. But if you ain't getting them, it's because there's no jobs available. What is the elderly gonna do? What is the people who not tech savvy gonna do? Because they don't know how to make money on the internet. They don't know how to work and use the internet. And if they do, they don't know what to do. And a lot of people are scared to come on camera. And the elderly just completely don't know nothing about technology. And there's no jobs. So what the hell are you going to do? Most people have no choice but to go into a shelter or become homeless. At this point, majority of people have no choice but to become homeless, or be in a shelter, or figure out how to get this money on the internet, or find something to do on the internet where you can make money. Hopefully you get a call service, because it's bad, man. And the pressure and the effects and feels is getting severe. People are selling their bodies to make way, even more so than ever. It's bad. And stuff like this is not being talked about.
It doesn't mean a recession, but it does indicate that trouble may be coming. And the stock lost over 6.5%. This spooked investors yesterday. And you think about it, Walmart is considered a bellwether for the American consumer. And 90% of Americans live within 10 miles of a Walmart. They focus on low prices. They sell need-to-have items. They are the nation's largest grocer. If Walmart says, quote, we are in an uncertain time, that is a potential red flag. And then you zoom out, you couple this with the retail sales numbers that we got for January. Biggest drop we've seen in 2 years. And then the data that we're getting on how consumers feel about inflation, they think inflation is going to be about 4% within a year. And so Walmart's outlook reflects that potential pullback in spending.
So this is essentially looking forward, right? Because up until this point, Walmart sales have been strong because of the pandemic, because of the leverage that they have with manufacturers in providing low prices to their customers. They're saying that with the economic environment and what the president is suggesting with the trade war, that could be bad.
Exactly. And you know, what I really thought was interesting is they highlighted that a lot of their growth is coming from consumers that make above $100,000. That's not their core customer. That is not their core customer. They said they're really tapping into a higher income customer. And in fact, in the third quarter of last year, 75% of the growth came from that group. That underscores that people of all income levels are looking for deals. They are struggling from that price pressure. But yes, it is potential pullback, inflation, and potential tariffs.
Okay, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I seen the video yesterday, and it was either a security guard or a police officer talking. And she was basically blaming the entire Black community for like 4 Walmarts closing in Chicago. I'm going to just say they're not the only ones that be stealing. Second of all, every item is insured. So if anything is damaged, anything is stolen, they have insurance for that. They're going to put in a claim. They're going to get it back with no money lost. Not to mention they also own Sam's Club that charge for you to shop there. So they're not losing money. They're just greedy. And then, oh, if we had that type of power to make a store leave, don't you think we'd have way much more stuff? We don't have that type of power. If people want to leave, they want to move their store, they're a business. This is not a relationship. They don't care if it's a food desert. They don't care about your job. This is business. They do what they want to do. And then, oh, y'all was stealing so much, making them lose their job. How you know the people wasn't transferred? How you know they didn't just go to another store? You don't know any of that. At the end of the day, if you don't want people to steal, why you put in 50 lanes of self-checkout? Put the humans back in there. Pay them what they deserve versus I'm looking at 100 videos a day. Y'all grabbing people's cart, saying people stealing, checking their receipts. Come on now. The money that's being lost is from lawsuits, not from people stealing insured items. So don't blame the community about a greedy business or corporation removing their stores. Because they never cared about us. Never. They don't care about it being a food desert. They don't care about you not having a job. The company does what it want to do, and it's showing you what it's going to do. They go pick their stuff up and leave. They don't care about the community. Skip the community. It is what it is. So before you get on this app and blame one specific ethnicity, everybody be stealing. Everybody be stealing. Period.
Yesterday, Walmart's CEO announced the company is nixing all of its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. So in other words, Walmart will no longer be intentional about ensuring historically marginalized, oppressed, and underrepresented communities are represented. Many years ago, I stopped spending the majority of my money at Walmart. And after yesterday's announcement, I am committed that they will not get 1 penny from me until they change their stance on DEI. Walmart thinks that they can set up shop in our communities and they don't have to ensure that we are represented. Now, contrary to what people believe, the black dollar is very powerful. We are the biggest consumers in the United States. I hope that you join me in pulling your black dollar from Walmart because they don't deserve it.
So in today's episode of MAGA, you got what you voted for. Have y'all heard that 154 Walmarts are closing? Some of them have already started closing. And I want to really ask MAGA, what y'all finna do? You know, I watched the report and y'all out here crying. I don't know what we gonna do. Where we gonna shop? What's gonna happen? I'm sorry. That was disrespectful. Some of y'all don't sound like that. Anywho, so not only are the Walmarts closing, they're closing in primarily rural areas. You know what that means? The majority of those areas voted overwhelmingly for syphilitic Sid. And do you know what the number one reason that they're saying why these Walmarts are closing? It's the tariffs. And remember y'all said, oh, a tariff is not a tax on us. That's what y'all said. And then grocery prices are sky high. You know why? It's the tariffs. And then y'all said, well, he's a businessman. We got to give him a chance. He knows what he's doing. Even though we kept telling y'all he bankrupted every business he's ever had. He's been sued for fraud more times than I think the earth has spun around. That might be an over-exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying. So not only are Walmarts closing, economists are saying we are now effectively in a stagnation. You know what that means? Inflation is on the rise and the economy is slowing down. This man has only been in office 6 months. 6 months. So Unemployment is about to go up because all those people, when the Walmarts close, they're about to be out of jobs. Then you got to consider all the people who were losing their Medicaid. They ain't gonna have no insurance. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're probably fucked. And I just want to thank you, MAGA, because the only thing y'all cared about was that he was deporting brown and black people. And even now, that ain't making y'all happy no more. Because he told you he was going to only deport the criminals. He out here rounding up 82-year-olds. Been here for years with green cards. I hate to say it. We told you all of this. But y'all got conned. And the sad part is, y'all still buying his merchandise. Okay. Good luck.
All right, you've seen it. Now let's talk. When an entire facility is shutting down, like what people are doing, linking to major retail restructuring at Walmart, that's not just businesses. That's life. That's rent payment, family responsibility, daily surviving, people here lay off, and think number. But behind every number is a person, a worker, a parent, and a provider. And when decisions like this happen suddenly, this impact is immediate. Now, let's zoom out for a second, because when job disruption happen in major retail or warehouse system, it often hits communities that are already working paycheck to paycheck, dependent on hourly labor. So, for many Black working class communities, especially, job stability is not just important; it's surviving. And when masses layoff happen, it raises real question. What happens next? Where do people go from here? And how do families recognize quickly? Now let's be fair. Companies make decisions based on cost, supply chain, global pressure, market changes, but here is the reality. Workers always feel the impact first. And this is why stories like this explode online. Because it's not just about corporate news anymore. It's personal. People see themselves in it. They think that that could be me. Think about it. One day you are employed, next day you are not. No transition plan, no backup guarantee, just uncertainty. That's fear. That's what people are reacting to. So maybe the real question is, how do workers stay protected in a system that changes so fast? Because jobs come and go, but people still are to live. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think companies are doing enough to protect workers during layoff, or are employees being left too exposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real world breakdown like this, hit the subscribe button. We go deeper every time. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.